and salutations, and welcome to the second annual Q&A video for John Johnson Let's Plays, which is the name of my channel, and also my name, which makes that intro kind of weird. As is apparently tradition, I have decided to record some TF2 for this Q&A. Last time, though, I was recording on Xbox. This time, to celebrate getting a new computer and coming back to LPing and all that, I'm actually recording this with Fraps from the PC, which I have not played much PC Team Fortress 2, so please don't make fun of me. But I actually found something really cool that I think you guys are going to like. It's not a normal TF2 map. Just wait for it. I love it. I love it. And there are the people that made it, but you may recognize that music played in the background, I hope. That's right, it's actually freaking Clocktown. How weird is that? It's Clocktown. I couldn't even, like, believe it when I actually found this. And the best part, it's actually a good FPS map. Like, it was actually legitimately fun to sit around and play on this. You're gonna see me exploring a lot, because I just want to see how far it actually went. It was actually all of Clocktown, and I do mean all of Clocktown, and all of Terminia Field. None of the 4 extended areas, but it was still really awesome, and just it was great. It was great. But anyways, let's actually move on past that and get to the questions. You guys can gush about this amazingness in the comments if you like, because I love it. It's on my favorite maps on this now, by the way. So question number 1. Do you watch anime? I do watch anime. I watched a lot more of it when I was younger. A lot more when I was younger. To this day, though, probably one of my favorite TV shows ever, or favorite general media thing ever, is Cowboy Bebop. Definitely one of the greatest stories ever told, in my opinion, to be perfectly honest with you. I love it. There are several other animes, and I'll still watch them every once in a while whenever I get into it. I actually read a lot more manga than I do anything else these days. Whenever I get bored, I'll start reading mangas, like, all the way through, like, 50 or so chapters a day, which is kind of weird, but, yeah. Alright, so, question number 2. Do you and the missus have kids? We do not yet. We are married. We have been married since April. I don't know how many of you guys know that or not. Obviously, some of you do, because somebody asked that question. I love that you can pop the balloon. It's great. We do not have kids yet. We are planning to. We plan to have several kids, actually. At this point, though, we're kind of more just waiting until we're in a better financial situation than anything else. Then that's pretty much the answer to that. Not super complicated thought there. The third question, is Minish Cap going to be abandoned? Yeah, no. Not really, but kind of. Okay, I'll give you a backstory about exactly what happened with Minish Cap. For those that don't know, I just recently got... Okay, that got melted. I just recently got a good PC, something that I can really, record on and, record TF2 when I play it on the PC and all that. Before then, though, I was actually using a very crappy laptop. It was a Toshiba Satellite from, I think, 2006. It had 2 gigabytes of RAM, like 140 gig hard drive. It was not good at all, and it barely could handle doing anything, but it could actually handle, most of the time, recording 2D games like Super Nintendo games and Game Boy Advance games such as the Minish Cap. So there for a while, I was using it to LP. I used it for Mega Man X, Minish Cap, Yoshi's Island, and Lion King and all that, and it worked for a while. It really did. It was doing okay. I actually figured out how to tweak most of the settings to make it render good and all that. Well, I'll say render good, but it was taking like 12 hours to render a 20-minute video. So that was really annoying, but moving on. And of course, I had to try and look up the moon. Why not? And shoot the moon. Why wouldn't you shoot the moon? It's Majora's Mask. You wish you could shoot the moon. But yeah, I was doing that, and I knew that the laptop was going to die at some point. Like, it was just bound to happen. There was no question about that. Unfortunately, it happened with, like, 2 episodes left of Minish Cap. They were literally planned out. I'd already practiced them and beaten the game in practice. 2 episodes left, and it would have been done, the entire LP, and then my laptop went and died, and now I have to go through and play the entire game over again to that point to continue it. Which I'm going to do at some point in time, most likely. I don't know when. It's not going to be in the immediate future. And I know it kind of sucks because I've said this several times now. But, I will continue it at some point and make those last 2 episodes and finish it. I can't leave it incomplete like that. It's just so weird. You know, people have asked me about Majora's Mask and Paper Mario, and I've addressed both of those in my newest project, which is coming up. Uh, but yeah, I'm going to finish both of those as well, and it's just one of those things where, with Majora's Mask, I'm starting over completely. Like, I'm just gonna do a brand new LP. With Paper Mario, I'm gonna continue it because, yeah, I'm able to continue it without replaying the game all the way up to that point. But with Minish Cap, it's the same thing. I have to replay the entire game all over again, which is going to be not super fun. But no, not abandoned is the simple answer. Question number 4: why were you gone? I kind of just explained that. My laptop died and I was unable to record anything for 4 months. Right at 4 months. Question number 5: do you feel what is taught in high school is necessary? This is kind of an odd question, I know, but I actually mentioned in the announcement video that you could ask me anything, so okay, fair enough. My personal opinion on high school curriculum is kind of weird because I went to a public high school in my first year of high school, a private high school in my second year of high school, and then dropped out and got my GED, which is a little weird. It gives me a little bit of a weird opinion on it since I've experienced so much of that. And it's one of those things where it's also a weird experience because in college I remember being so irritated that I had to go back and learn basic math and basic English and all that stuff that I've been taught. At least I'm speaking with American school systems here, because I know I've got some fans. Oh, that's so weird to say. Some international fans, if that's okay to say. But with the American school system, you basically have to, and it may be the same for other school systems, but the American school system, you have to learn and relearn basics over and over and over again, especially like basic math and stuff like that. It's super annoying. I've taken so many algebra classes in my life that I can't even fathom why. And it's one of those things, it's not super evident in high school, but it's especially evident in college when you're having to do this, because in college, I was a music major. You know, I went to music classes and I spent 6 to 8 hours a day in a little bitty cubicle practice room playing, practicing and all that. And that was tough. Like, people don't realize how tough being a music major in college actually is, but I mean, it's a full-time job. It really is. And it's one of those things where it's so strange, and I'm sure it's like this with other majors that aren't part of the core curriculum, like math and science, but it's one of those things like I spend 8 hours a day in a 4 foot by 4 foot room with a piano and a guitar. It's really irritating to have to go and practice my algebra or all that, and it's just one of those things I don't think it's necessary for some majors in college. And same thing in high school. If you can prove that you know basic math, why do you have to? There are some high schools I know, I've talked to people online about this, that have actual entrance exams where you take they call them competency tests, where you apply for this to go into this high school, and they basically make you take this exam before you enter. That it's basically basic math, basic science, basic reading, basic language skills, all that good stuff. And there are people I know that have scored like pretty much perfect on these exams and really proven that they know all these basics. And then as soon as they get in high school, they're met with basic 101 classes on all these subjects again. And it's just so redundant, to me at least. I guess it does serve a purpose with some people. I guess there's always going to be those people who just don't learn as well as others, and that's understandable. That if they learn at their own pace, that's fine. But some high schools they make you do the same thing over and over and over and over again, thinking that that's the best way to learn. And I disagree with that. So yeah, kind of a long answer to that odd question. Question number 6: do you have a 3DS? I do not, unfortunately. It's definitely on my list to get. In fact, it'll probably be the next quote-unquote console I get. I want to get a Wii U as well, but I want to get a 3DS more because the main reason I want to get a Wii U is Wind Waker Remade HD, and also the Wii U Zelda whenever it comes out, but it's not even, you know, close to being out yet, so I'm not particularly worried about it. However, on 3DS, they have the Link Between Worlds, which I am extremely interested in playing, because to date it is the only Zelda game out that I have not played and beaten, which is sad on so many levels for me. And also, I've been hearing so much about how it's like one of the best Zelda games to come out in a long time, so really, really want to get that. I also want to get like Animal Crossing and a few other games for him as well. Enough to justify me buying a 3DS, I'll put it like that. And another question that went along with that was if I would share my friend code. I most likely will whenever I actually get the 3DS. Just remind me whenever I get it. And I'm sure I'll say something about getting a 3DS in one of the LP videos, so just keep an eye out for that, and then we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Sorry, I'm going to take a sip of green tea here. Throat is getting parched. I'm trying to lay off soda because I'm getting old. Oh, it's so sad. Question number 7. How does it feel to be recording again? Amazing. I've had my PC for actually exactly a week. Exactly 7 days. I got it I'm recording this on a Tuesday, and I got it last Tuesday. Exactly 7 days, and in that 7 days, not counting the trailers, I've recorded and edited 12 videos. I have been going absolutely crazy with recording lately. And if you count trailers, which actually take a fair amount of effort as well, I've made 15 full videos that have been recorded, edited, rendered, uploaded, and scheduled. So I'm a little bit ahead of the game. I'm actually trying to take a little break here once or twice. That's why I'm actually making this Q&A more or less than anything, is because I'm just getting kind of bored with just not doing anything. But I'm going to start practicing and recording again soon, so I don't have too much to worry about there. So yeah, it feels really awesome. I'll put it like that. Question number 8, another little kind of off the wall one. What was your worst nightmare? I don't dream, which is kind of well, that's not entirely true. I do dream. I just very, very, very rarely remember it. And if I do, it's usually just in bits and pieces, very small bits and pieces. And just like anybody, my dreams are pretty much often completely nonsensical and strange, and usually involve Bob Barker somehow. That's a joke, but it's kind of it's a little side story. But the first dream I ever remember having was of walking up the driveway of the first house I ever lived in. Had a super, super long driveway. It was like 100 or 150 yards long. And I remember the dream I remember was me, little kid me. I was like probably 6 at the time. I was walking up the driveway, and then Bob Barker was standing on the street in front of my house. And that's the only thing about the entire dream I remember, which is it was so weird. And so anytime I reference weird dreams, I have to mention the Bob Barker thing. But anyways, we got way off track there. So yeah, worst nightmare. I don't really know, actually. In my older age, God, I make myself sound like I'm 6 feet from the grave, and I'm thinking maybe 6 feet ain't so far down. But I don't really remember most of my dreams, and the ones I do remember, like I have the really stereotypical dreams these days. Now that I'm 20, almost at 26, I'm not 26. Ever since I hit about 23, I just have these same, like, really stereotypical nightmares where I'm, like, falling or somebody I know dies. It's just really stereotypical dreams, so nothing super interesting there. And I have them very, very rarely, or at least that I remember. So, yeah. Question number 9. How did you get so many subscribers? I get this question a lot, and I really never know how to answer it. I mean, I watched LPs for 3 or 4 years before I actually decided to start doing them. I'd always wanted to do them, but I just never quite got up the courage until last year. Well, I can't really say that. It's 2014. Until 2012. December 2012 is when my channel started. And you know, there's different things that really bump me up. For the first week or so, I had a subscriber a day or something like that. A decent following, but nothing major because I was putting out crappy videos basically. You can go back and watch them; they're not great. And it was one of those things where I basically just got lucky. You know, there were different little events where a certain video would get really popular, and I'd go and comment on it and start conversations, and a lot of people would notice the conversations, and that would give me some subscribers. And it was little stuff like that that really bumped me up a little bit at a time. And besides that, it was just, you know, being active in the community. I'd go on Twitter and talk to people, try and make friends as much as I could. Go on bigger LPers videos and comment and talk to people on there, which I need to be clear on that. Only do that if you actually make a real comment. Don't go on there spamming your channel. That's just, it's not gonna do you any good, I promise you. It's not a good thing to do. But just be, you know, be active and you know, try and do co-ops or co-commentaries when you can, or if you can. And, you know, find people to talk to and be cool with, and just have fun with it. I mean, more than anything, that's what it really comes down to, is just having as much fun with this hobby as you possibly can. Because otherwise, it's just not worth it. It's not worth the work you have to put into it. Reach out to people. You know, reach out to bigger LPers. Don't be an a-hole, but, you know, send them a message being like, hey, you know, you were a big inspiration to me. I really like your videos. And there's nothing wrong with just trying to talk to a bigger person on YouTube. There really isn't. Don't get offended if they don't answer, because you gotta think these people get, you know, I personally get, you know, a couple messages a day, and the only reason I'm able to answer most of them is because I only get a couple questions a day. But I have 600 subscribers. If I had 100,000, which isn't a whole lot in the grand scheme of things, even so, even if it's not a whole lot, even if you have that 100,000, you still get like a bajillion messages a day, and you just can't answer all of them. It's just not humanly possible. So don't be offended if they don't answer. Don't spam them. Don't send the same message 100 times. But there's nothing wrong with just trying to reach out and being like, hey, you're awesome. You know, want to talk sometimes. Just anything. You know, just be cool, basically. Don't... You know, it kind of comes down to one of my favorite general sayings in the world is just don't be a dick. So yeah, don't be a dick, basically. It comes down to that. And like I said, just network and reach out as much as you can and make friends, and it'll work itself out. At the same time, though, strive to put out the best quality you can. I'm a big stickler on video quality more than anything. And I think that's really actually served me a little bit. Yeah, I think that's helped me out in the long run. Just because of how much of a stickler I am about trying to get the best visual quality I possibly can. Also, maybe try games that not a lot of people have done. It's easy to get views when you do a Zelda game or something like that, but like Lion King, for instance, got like hardly any views compared to a lot of my other videos. But at the same time, if you go in the comment sections, it's one of the most active videos. It's one of the ones that starts the most conversations, and honestly, one of the funner ones to do. Even though I love doing the Zelda series and all that as well. So yeah, just, you know, general, don't be a dick, network as much as you can, make friends, and just be cool. So there. Question number 10. Are there any famous LPers you want to work with and you hope to work with? Yes, most certainly. I'm not gonna lie. I have like this little secret fantasy of wanting to record with I mean, really, you name the bigger ones on TGS, Proton John, NCS, who I've actually talked to personally once or twice. Oh, well, I say personally, but internet messagey. Josh Jepson is probably my biggest I really want to record with, mostly just because he was the first LP I ever watched. And I'm not going to be all fanboy on it or anything like that, but I am a big fan of his and have been for several years. And if the opportunity arose, I'm not going to super actively seek it out, but if the opportunity arose, I would jump on it in a heartbeat, no problem. Steven Plays would be another one I'd love to do. There's a lot of people I'd like to record with. I'll put it like that. A lot of little arrow ones I'd like to record with as well. There's one guy, Let's Jays, who I will link to through annotation somewhere on the screen, probably. Who for some reason has like no subscribers, and it confuses the crap out of me because he's awesome. Like, I've watched his videos, and they're just really, really, like, his commentary is really good, and he's just a really cool guy. So, yeah, definitely a shout out to that. Go watch his videos and subscribe to him and be cool and stuff, because he's awesome. And there's a lot of other smaller ones I'd like to do as well. I keep saying like to do, that sounds weird. I'd like to record with as well. Kind of a follow-up question, number 11. Are there any LPers you don't want to work with? Yes. Again, some of the bigger ones and some of the smaller ones who just... Sometimes I just don't like their commentary style. It doesn't appeal to me, and I don't think it would click well with mine. And sometimes it's one of those things, I think anybody who's done a co-commentary can kind of relate to this, but there are just sometimes you just don't click with people, and it's not even a you're good, he's bad, or he's good and you're bad, or anything like that. It has nothing to do with like skill level or quality or anything like that. It's just sometimes people's humor and commentary just don't click together, and it makes for a really awkward video. There's been one or two that I've ended up not putting up because and I really hope I didn't offend the people who I recorded them with, but it's not good. It's not funny, and the commentary's awkward. There's a lot of long pauses because you don't know what to say to each other sometimes. And again, it has nothing to do with good or bad. It's just sometimes two people just don't have that chemistry. And which a little advice, if you ever do co-commentary with somebody, start the Skype call or whatever you're using to record and just talk for like 30 minutes and just see how well that goes. Because if you can't if you can't keep a conversation going for 30 minutes, you're probably not going to be able to record even just one video together, much less a series if you're doing a long series or something like that together. So be picky, if you're co-commentating with somebody, because it's not something that two people don't always, even if they like each other, even with their friends, they're not necessarily gonna match up well. So be wary of that. And as for who they are, I'm actually not gonna mention them just because I just don't want that over either of our heads. I'll put it like that. Number 11. Are there any LPs? Oh wait, no. Blah, 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 blah. I just read that, dummy. Number 12. How do you get motivated to record? Different ways. I've tried energy drinks and just getting myself hyped up and all that, and they work to a degree. If I'm just really feeling down and I really need to record that day and I can't put it off for a day or anything to see if I'm feeling better, then I'll resort to energy drinks and stuff like that. But most of the time, what I just like doing, it's so weird because it seems the opposite of what you would think, but I like recording on days that I have to go to work, and when I have a really long day at work, I really want to record when I get off. And it's one of those things, it's just, you can't really explain how it feels without actually going through it yourself. And there's this great feeling of having just like a super bad day at work or school or whatever, coming home, taking a shower, getting all fresh and all that good stuff, and then just sitting down and having fun playing a game and recording it. It makes a huge difference. Which the shower, actually, taking a shower before you record is actually a good idea because it wakes you up and kind of gets you ready to do all that. And I suppose if you want to get like super, if you want to grasp for straws here, I guess the steam or something could help your throat or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I think it just wakes you up and makes you a little bit more alive for the actual commentary. Question number 13. Do you watch Doctor Who, Sherlock, other BBC series? Yes, as a matter of fact. I was pretty opposed to Doctor Who at first. My wife started watching it long before I did. But it was one of those things, I would catch like bits and pieces of it every so often, and after so long, after catching a few little bits and pieces of episodes, you're just like, I really kind of want to know how this ends. So you'd end up watching it. And before too long, I was a pretty big fan of it, actually. So I guess I do qualify as a Whovian. Sherlock is also good, but I really like, what's his name, Martin Freeman? Yeah, Bilbo. I love Bilbo. But yeah, he's a really good actor. Benedict Cumberbatch is a really good actor as well. And I like anything with good acting. I really do. I don't know if I would qualify as a movie foul or anything like that, but I definitely like good movies. And my wife and my other friends make fun of me because I'm really picky with movies and stuff like that, but I like good movies and good TV shows and good acting and stuff like that. Like Breaking Bad, Bryan Cranston is amazing, probably one of the best actors out there right now. Sherlock is a fantastic series. Doctor Who is a fantastic series, mostly because of the writing. Acting's really good as well, but it's mostly the writing on that one. And there's a bunch of other shows I could probably mention. Not Game of Thrones, however. I have not watched that. I want to. It's on my list, but it's one of those things I just haven't quite got around to, so don't spoil it or anything. It's been horrible trying to avoid spoilers for that series. Question number 14. Do you have a PS4 or Xbox One? No. No, I do not. I have no intention of getting either console for a while. The first one out of those two I'm gonna get is gonna be a PS4, and it's only gonna be whenever they come out with a game that I just have to have, like Last of Us. You know, Last of Us, even though it came at the end of the PS3's life, Last of Us was the first game on the PS3 where I'm like, okay, I need to get a PS3 now. And the PS4 is gonna have the same thing until there's a game that I just need to get. I'm not gonna get a PS4. And as for Xbox One, no, just no, 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 never. I'll get an Xbox One when I find one in the dumpster or somebody gives it to me for $25. And that's the end of that story. So, at long last, the last question, what's up with Ocarina of Time? I get this question like every day. Ocarina of Time will happen at some point. I promise it really will. As like my most requested LP by far. It's gonna happen. Don't worry about it, okay? I promise it'll happen. Just chill, guys. Chill. I don't know. I mean, I know why people want me to do that. It's one of my favorite games from my favorite video game series. Of course people want me to do it, but just be patient, okay? Okay. So that was actually the last question. If you stuck through all, good God, 35 minutes of this, then thank you guys so much. Hopefully I answered your question if you had any. Hopefully I answered, you know, the most frequently asked questions. And just, you know, get hyped for the new videos coming soon, and I will see you when they come. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. See you next year at the next Q&A.